When you think about Shakespeare's final play, The Tempest, what comes to mind? For me, it's pure magic, right? It's this world filled with powerful sorcerers, otherworldly spirits, and an island that just seems to exist completely outside of time. It really feels like a story spun from nothing but imagination. But here's a wild thought. What if that terrifying shipwreck that kicks off the whole story wasn't fiction at all? The true story behind all that magic is, in a lot of ways, even more incredible than the play it inspired. All right, so first, let's do a quick refresher on the play. The Tempest opens on this remote, enchanted island. It's the home of an exiled sorcerer named Prospero. Now, the entire plot really hinges on this one shipwreck. You see, Prospero, who's the rightful Duke of Milan, was betrayed by his own brother and basically cast out to sea. So years later, he uses his massive magical powers to conjure up a storm, and he deliberately wrecks his brother's ship on his island. This is all part of his grand plan to get his title back, a totally classic Shakespearean drama that kicks off with what seems like a completely supernatural event. But right around the time this play was being written, a real-life story about a terrifying storm and an impossible survival was the talk of London. And this is where fiction gives way to some pretty astounding facts. So, back in June of 1609, a ship called the Sea Venture sets out for the new colony of Jamestown. But almost 2 months into the trip, disaster strikes. The ship sails right into a monster of a hurricane, gets violently separated from the rest of its fleet, and then it just vanishes, completely lost at sea. For the 150 souls on board, this really should have been the end of their story. But what happened next was, well, it was nothing short of a miracle. Okay, so the situation was absolutely dire. The ship was filling with water, the storm just wouldn't let up, and they were hopelessly lost. The ship's captain, a man named Sir George Somers, had to make an impossible choice. Just when all hope seemed lost, the crew spots the faint outline of land. So Captain Somers makes this brilliant, high-stakes gamble. Instead of trying to avoid the coastline, he intentionally steers the ship towards the reefs and runs it aground. I mean, this controlled crash completely destroyed the vessel, but it saved every single person on board. And the island they landed on? Well, we know it today as Bermuda. So they were alive, but they were totally stranded. And they would stay stranded on this uninhabited island for 9 long months. Just think about that for a second. 9 months completely cut off from the entire world with zero hope of rescue because, everyone back home just assumed they'd all died in the storm. But they didn't just survive, they got to work. Their ingenuity was just astonishing. Using timber they salvaged from the wreckage of the Sea Venture and local cedar trees they found on the island, the survivors built 2 brand new ships from scratch. They gave them some pretty fitting names, too. The Deliverance and the Patience. After those 9 long months, their new ships were finally ready for the sea. They set sail again, and their journey from this point on would become the stuff of absolute legend. On May 23, 1610, almost a full year after they first left England, the survivors of the Sea Venture sailed right into Jamestown Harbor on the ships they had built with their own 2 hands. You can imagine the colonists there were just stunned. Everyone had presumed they were dead for months. Word of their impossible survival traveled fast. When the story finally made it back to England, it caused an absolute sensation. I mean, it was the kind of tale of disaster and redemption that just captivated everybody. And you have to imagine that among those totally captivated by this incredible tale was, almost certainly, the most famous playwright in all of London. So one of the survivors, a writer by the name of William Strachey, published this super detailed 24,000-word account of their whole ordeal. He called it his true reportery, and it laid out the entire harrowing story for the English public to read. The timing here is really the crucial piece of the puzzle. Strachey's account gets published in London in 1610. Just a few months later, in late 1610 or maybe early 1611, Shakespeare starts writing The Tempest, a play that's all about a mysterious island and a dramatic shipwreck. The connection is, well, it's pretty hard to ignore. But hey, if the timing isn't quite convincing enough, the legacy of the Sea Venture isn't just found in a play. It's still visible today, etched right into the identity of the very island where they were stranded. The story's impact is literally embedded in the island's identity. If you look at the official coat of arms of Bermuda, what do you see? A depiction of a ship being wrecked upon its shores. A permanent tribute to the incredible tale of the Sea Venture and its amazing survivors. So, Shakespeare took a real life story of terror, survival, and incredible human ingenuity, and he spun it into something else, something with magic and spirits and poetry. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Just how many other great works of fiction are hiding a true story, just waiting for us to rediscover it.